When I was a child, I always wondered how a tablet with a touchscreen could work. How could you tell a computer what to do just with the touch of your hand? So today I'll be covering all the different kinds of touchscreens that you'll find in everyday life. Now, touchscreens do have different variations, and with them different levels of complexity and different things that you can do based on their limitations. First, we have the kind of touchscreen that you would normally think of. The capacitive touchscreen is made up of external glass or a plastic insulator with a transparent conductor underneath. Now, the cool part is that when you touch the screen of the display, the conductor will send the electrical charge to your finger. Then the conductor sends a signal that there is something conducting the electricity, and that in turn tells the computer where the input is on a grid. Now I have to mention the second kind of touchscreen out of frustration, since they're never fun to consistently use. I am, of course, talking about the resistive touchscreen. This screen works by having a transparent electrode run either vertically or horizontally, or any which way, as long as there is another transparent electrode underneath it that runs perpendicular to the first. This allows a grid to be made. These two electrodes also need to be separated by air, so when someone touches the screen, the two parts of the electrodes will connect and send a point to the computer. Lastly, this next one has a different approach, but it's pretty interesting because of it. Two sides of the screen will have an emitter, and the others will have a receiver. These lights are set up in, I'm sure you've guessed, a grid pattern. Then the top layer comes down and obstructs the view of the lights. The computer then uses this information on which receivers are getting light and which are not to determine where your finger is on the screen. As you might guess, all three have their pros and cons. Capacitive is easier and more satisfying to use over a longer time span, while being more expensive and limited in what objects can use them, mainly being limited to your finger, a stylus, or a glove that shares the conductive properties of your finger. The resistive is cheaper and can use any object to interact with it, but cannot track multiple inputs at once, while having more difficulty display to use. The infrared is also cheap and can use any object to interact, but isn't as reliable as the sun can always interfere with the display. I hope I was able to teach you something about how one of the inventions that we use every day of our lives works. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care.